Today's video I bring you 10 free sewing patterns to make up as Christmas gifts. Keep watching. Hi, my name's Sam. Welcome to my channel Frugalisama, where I talk about all things sewing. Today is day 35 of 100 days of sewing, and I'm going to talk about free patterns to make up for Christmas gifts. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. If you enjoy this sort of content, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and the notification bell will tell you when I've got new videos. I'm filming the 100 days of sewing during the week. I post videos on a Sunday usually of reviews and plans and hauls and that sort of thing. So on to today's video. I thought it'd be interesting to look at a few of the things that I've made as Christmas gifts over the last few years, and by using free patterns that means that it's accessible to everybody. I think as people who sew, we like to make gifts, and sometimes it can get a little bit expensive, especially if you're buying fabric and patterns. But I think when you've made a handmade gift, it gives you the opportunity to personalise things using fabric that's to the recipient's taste, or maybe a little bit of embroidery, or putting a label on that's relevant to the recipient. And I made a video quite recently where you can make bespoke labels, so you could either put a label on whatever you're making that's pertinent to them. So for example, the label that I made was a football logo for the person that I was making it for. But you could put anything on that particular label, and you can make them whatever size you like as well. So you could actually make them bigger and just transfer onto whatever you're making. Something that I made last year for a friend was a dressing gown, and the beauty of a dressing gown is that you don't really need precise sizes. And I think that's something really that you need to bear in mind when you're making for other people. If you can't measure them up, if you're wanting a surprise, you can't really say what size are you. With a dressing gown, they're reasonably loose fitting. The pattern that I used was a seam work pattern, Almada, which obviously isn't free, but there are plenty of free sewing patterns about, such as Melisso's has one, and that is taken. That's not actually a pattern, that's just using measurements and drafting your own, if you're up for that sort of thing. The other one is the one that's in this From Stitch to Style book, the Great British Sewing Bee book. Although it's in this book, if you've got this book, then obviously you've got the pattern. If you go to the Love Sewing website, it's actually as a free download, and that's it there. The beauty of this is it is a unisex, calling it a kimono, but dressing gown, whatever you want to call it. So that's the chap wearing it. And you know, it is quite a long one on those pictures, but you can make it whatever length you want. And again, you could personalise that. If you look at the Melisso's one, which is the self-drafted one, she's got some beautiful embroidery down the lapel of it. That could be a nice idea to just personalise it. I will bob a link to both of those below, the links to the Great British Sewing Bee one and the Melisso's one. And yeah, the beauty of them is loose fitting, so you don't need exact sizes, and the unisex. I think it's quite easy to find gifts for women, but a bit more difficult for men, I think, sometimes. So I think the thing to bear in mind when you're actually making a gift for somebody is the recipient going to appreciate the time and expense that you put into it? You can, in the UK, you can go to places like Primark and Matalan, and other countries are going to have equivalent shops where you can buy most of these gifts for probably less than what you've paid for fabric, which is why I wanted to use free patterns, because of the accessibility of it. With a little bit of guile, you can pick up fabric a little bit cheaper, and I have put together a video of sources for cheaper fabric. But even if you're paying full price for fabric, the thing to bear in mind is that recipient going to appreciate not just the expense of the materials, but are they going to appreciate the time that you've put into it? I think it's unlikely that the recipient will actually directly tell you that they don't like the gift, but you might find later down the road that it's possibly not their style. And I think sometimes with gift giving, especially with sewing, you're actually spending all that time thinking about that particular person. Are they going to spend all that time thinking about you when they're dashing in Christmas Eve for a gift voucher? You know, just think about those sort of things before you spend a lot of time dashing about on Christmas Eve trying to last minute sew. I've been there. I really have. So on a similar vein to the dressing gown, what about pyjamas? I've spoken about making pyjamas before. They are a relatively simple sew. If you're thinking of making trousers, they're actually a good introduction to making trousers. And again, you don't need a massive amount of accurate measurements, because you're really only needing to fit the waist. They're usually generally loose fitting. The pyjamas that I made are pyjama bottoms, and they were available in the first Tilly and the Buttons book. I found a very similar pair with 5 out of 4 patterns, which again I will link below. These are great because not only are they unisex, I mean, you can make them any size you want anyway, but if you've got somebody who runs a little bit hot or lives in a hotter country, they have got a shorts version or a capri version. They also run the sizes from, I think it's extra small to 5XL, so it's a massive size range that they've provided there as a free pattern. And there's inseam pockets, and you can do the drawstring tie. My advice with pyjamas from personal experience is to omit the drawstring and put elastic in. I find them to be more comfortable. Also, that 2 o'clock in the morning dash to the toilet's a little bit more convenient with elastic than it is faffing about with a drawstring. So that's my top tip on pyjamas. But again, unless you've got somebody who's exceptionally long in the leg, that's your only danger, is making them too short, really. Another pyjama pattern or a loungewear pattern is the ones from Peppermint magazine. That includes a top as well, so you've got both top and bottoms for that. The 5 out of 4 patterns doesn't include a top, but you could use something like the plantain tee, any free t-shirt pattern, depending on whether you wanted long sleeves or short sleeves. The plantain tee is actually quite a loose fitting one and is actually ideal as a pyjama top, and that is something that I've made before as well. I've talked about the plantain tee before. Again, a nice opportunity to personalise the pyjama top if you want, or you can go mad and use a really nice Liberty print for the pyjama bottoms. What would be fun would be to make some for the whole family. If you've got a family, to make for like a sister and a brother-in-law and the 2 children to make matching pyjamas. Some that I made for a friend of mine, she wanted matching pyjamas for her husband and the dogs. So I made little doggy coats and pyjama bottoms for him. That went down really well. If I can find a free doggy coat pattern, I'll insert that. The beauty of pyjamas is you can make them out of anything, really. If you're going to if it's a pattern that's designed for a woven fabric, just go down a size for a jersey fabric. And if you want something that's full on glam, Gertie, as in Gretchen Hirsch, who does all the vintage style patterns, she has got a free Hepburn pyjama set, and that is really beautiful, and she's got a full sew along for that as well. Previously I talked about doing a sew along for PJ bottoms, and I'm more than happy to do that again, but the 5 out of 4 patterns, they've already got their own sew along for that, so it would have to be the Peppermint magazine one that I did. I can't really do a sew along for something that's someone has already got one. Let me know below if you want me to do a sew along for that. I'm more than happy to do that. So the next thing that I've made in the past are slippers. You can actually make slippers, and Tilly and the Buttons has got like a little slipper bootie pattern. I made those for my daughter-in-law a couple of years ago. They're really nice, really nice and snug. And the beauty of the booties is they keep your ankles warm if you get cold. I've always got cold ankles. Pearl Soho have some slip-on slippers as well, which I'll link below. If you go onto the Pearl Soho website, they have got tons and tons of free patterns, ideal for gifts of all sorts of different things, both knitting and sewing as well. So the only thing you will need for slippers is a foot size. I think the Tilly and the Buttons one is, rather than being foot sizes, it'll say small, medium or large, so you can be there or thereabouts. So that's slippers. And the next one is sleep masks. again, Tilly and the Buttons is a really nice little free pattern for a sleep mask. And what I thought with that is you can personalise that by either I think she's got eyelashes on it or cat's eyes or something like that. But what a lovely gift to put all 4 of those together. I mean, you'd have to really think a lot about this person and start soon. Or a combination, the dressing gown and the pyjamas, or the pyjamas and the slippers, or pyjamas and the sleep mask. A combination of all those would be a really nice gift. My word of warning is that don't be too overly ambitious about everything that you make, because although they're reasonably quick sews, everything always takes longer, and time gets really eaten up. We're beginning of November now. Before we know it, it'll be Christmas. The last thing you want to be doing is putting yourself under pressure, sewing last minute gifts, like I do every year. What I usually find is that I always think we've got until Christmas Eve to sew, and I'm generally meeting up with friends maybe a week or 2 before Christmas, so I always forget to take into account that fortnight that we don't have. So the next idea is something that I've again made in the past. Last year I made my friend a makeup bag, and there are thousands and thousands of free patterns for pouches and makeup bags online. I've made 2 or 3 different patterns. My absolute favourite one has been the Patty Do one, the Geo pouch I think it's called. How she came up with that one I do not know. I made my friend that last year, and I made it out of a rose gold fabric that I picked up out of a remnant bin. And the only hardware that you need for that really is a zip. Just looking at that pattern, it's just an amazing little pattern. There's a free downloadable pattern for it and a tutorial. The tutorial is in German. I will have a look on YouTube and see if anybody else has done a tutorial for it in English, and if they haven't, again, I'm more than happy to put something together for people to do that. So let me know below what your favourite pouch pattern is and why, or makeup bag. I think the beauty of making your own makeup bag is, again, you can personalise it, you can use the transfers to put somebody's name on it, or put a witty little remark on it, or if you've got embroidery options on your machine, or you want to embroider something, you can put initials on or something like that. You could also just fill it with favourite makeup, or I've put together lots of cheaper little makeup products like face masks and moisturiser or bubble bath or whatever, and put those together as a gift. But the makeup bag itself has been made by myself. You can pick up a makeup bag for next to nothing in your cheaper shops, but I think it's just a nice personal touch if you've made it yourself. The next thing that I've made for people in the past are bags. I've spoken about how I like to make bags in the past, and last year I went to a craft fair with a friend of mine, and she saw a big pink fur bag. Not my taste at all, but it certainly was hers, and she absolutely loved it, and I think it was either £20 or £30, and I said, oh, don't buy it, I'll make you one. And I actually self-drafted that bag. But there's, again, like makeup bags, there are tons and tons of free bag patterns online, and they've got the opportunity to be unisex. One of my favourite bag pattern designers is Spire, Andrea at Spire, and she does a lot of bags, and not actually patterns themselves, but made from just measurements. So she'll do a YouTube tutorial. So this one, I think this is a great unisex one. This is made with an oil skin, and it's essentially like you can get your laptop in there. So it's kind of in the vein of a satchel, I suppose. And I've put inside a nice floral print inside, but that print could be anything. So it could be plain, gingham, or, you know, if the recipient's into a certain sport or fishing or something like that, that could be like fabric. My husband's an angler, that's why I thought about fishing. That could be fish fabric with fish on it. But the beauty of this is there are so many pockets in this. So it's a massive slip pocket at the back. You've got 2 slip pockets at the front, there and there, and then we've got about 8 slip pockets inside as well. So there's, and that's down to you how many you put in and how big you make them. So I think it's called the messenger bag. I'll put the link to it below, and this is just a tutorial, and this, again, minimum hardware, just magnetic snaps to close it, and I imagine you can use Velcro if you can't get hold of magnetic snaps. If you're not keen on sort of the size of it, if it's too deep or not long enough, you can because it's made with measurements, you can change all that. Same as the flap here, it doesn't quite. That's how it was designed, not to quite cover, but you could make that bigger. It's down to you, and really straightforward. She's got a really good teaching style, as Andrea. Another bag that, again, is relatively easy to construct. This is one that I have made a couple of times. It's perfect as a gift. Is the So Sweetness Easy Leather Hobo Bag. Now, don't let the leather put you off. This isn't leather. It can be made with any non-frame fabric. So this is just like a furnishing fabric. It's like a velour. And this does fray a little bit. You can just put glue down there, or you can just change how the handles and the tabs are made. And again, very, very minimum hardware. You just need a D-ring or a square ring. This is an old necklace that I dismantled, and you can do that from old bags as well, and the magnetic snap as well. There's a little pocket inside. Again, you can make that whatever size you want. So if you're using the colours that your friend or recipient likes, I think those are a really nice little gift. So like I say, there are lots and lots of free bag patterns online, and if you'd like me to put a video together, let me know below of my top 10 favourite bag patterns. I can do that. Obviously, I've not got time to go into them all today. Or let me know what your favourite bag pattern is below as well. Let's share some ideas below. There are so many bag pattern designers, and most of them will give you a free pattern as a little taster. Another idea is to make the bag and the makeup bag coordinating as a little gift set, or if you go onto the Spencer Ogg website, she's currently making lots of little accessories to go into your bag, so such as key rings and little purses and things like that. All sorts can be personalised and all made out of non-frame fabrics. I think she's done it all out of something like cork or something like that, but vinyls or anything like that where they don't fray, they come together really quickly. So number 7 on my list is scarves and cowls. Last year I made my friend and myself a matching scarf. This is the one that I made for myself in the purple. My friend's favourite colour is purple. Really, really simple to put together. So many little tutorials online. If your skill levels are up to anything too fancy, or you just really are pushed for time and it is Christmas Eve and you're trying to think of what to make, these are ideal, because alright, my friend and I have got one matching, but you're always going to be able to make something a little bit more original than what you can find in the shops. How about using a nice piece of Liberty fabric, or that nice piece of silk that you've seen, and all you need to do is put a rolled hem on it or something like that. So yes, it's scarves are dead simple, and you can put tassels or pom-poms on. You can make them as complicated or as fancy as you like, and another opportunity to make them really personalised by using colours that they like, or patterns that they like, or fabrics that they like. So that's a nice easy one for you. So the next one is gloves. You can actually make gloves for people, and if you've ever shrunk a sweater or a jumper made out of wool and it's felted, this is an ideal opportunity to use it up. You can actually make a pair of gloves out of it. Pearl Soho have got a pattern for gloves, or mittens actually, I think they are, and you could actually match them in with a scarf and make it as part of as a set. This isn't something that I've made before. And both scarves and gloves, I mean, again, unisex, you can make them for men and women depending on your fabric choice. So number 9 on my list are boxer shorts. I found the tutorial by George and Ginger to make boxer shorts with a free downloadable pattern. I think there's quite a few free downloadable patterns for boxer shorts. And this isn't something that I've made in the past, but something that I'm planning on making. It says it takes 10 minutes. I'd be interested to see how long it takes me. It'd probably take me a little bit more. But yeah, a nice little stocking filler and another way to personalise it. How fun would it be to make some out of some fabric like a Doctor Who fabric or something like that. Again, these are unisex. I personally wouldn't wear boxer shorts. I can't think of anything more uncomfortable. And I think although they are designed for woven, I think they do say that you could make them in a more comfortable jersey fabric, but you would obviously downsize a little bit for them. So let me know below if you've ever made boxer shorts and how comfortable they are, or if you've ever worn them yourselves, and tell me how comfortable they are. I can't imagine them being very comfortable, but maybe in a nice soft jersey they would be a bit more comfortable. Number 10 on my list is an apron. I did a tutorial for making the tessuti apron, which is a wrap at the back, quite early on in the 100 Days of Sewing series, and I think that would be a really nice gift for anybody who likes cooking or barbecues or crafting of any type. And you could I did a very sort of girly floral design, if you like, on mine, because that was for me. But how about if you made it in a denim or something like a canvas or something like that? I'll put an inspiration photograph of one that I've seen that retails at about £30. But yeah, you can make it in a linen or something like that. It would certainly be a bit more unisex in a plainer fabric. You can put as many pockets on it as you like. You know, it's up to you how many pockets you put on it. So as well as the tessuti one, 5 out of 4 patterns again, and Pearl Soho both have aprons on there. So again, it's one of those things that there's lots of free patterns. I made my girlfriends and my mum and my mum-in-law one year aprons, like a vintage style, and that was a free one from a magazine, so all very very vintage fabric and lots of frills around it, very 1950s. The one from 5 out of 4 patterns is called the Ramsey apron, and that is another great one, a bit like the pyjamas in that it goes from children's size right up to adult size. Loads of opportunity for personalising it. I think they even do free SVG files. Not something that I've got the equipment to use it for, but great opportunities for personalising it. And how cute would it be for mum, dad and kids to have all little matching aprons to cook together, to encourage kids in the kitchen. And the beauty of this is that it's got an adjustable strap, so a lot of aprons like the tessuti one, the straps are actually built into the apron because it's a crossbody, whereas this is adjustable, so it can fit most sizes. And again, you can make it with whatever fabric you like. Customise it. So my bonus one is another bag, but a Mars bag, and over the last year or so I've made lots of these, and I think this is perfect to make. This is a Mars bag. It's just a tote bag. It's a free bag pattern. I've done a tutorial for this one as well, but I'll put a link to the Mars bag website. If you did it in a Christmas fabric like this one, just use it as wrapping paper. I think it's perfect. You're reducing waste, and you've got something practical at the end of it, and it's great for wrapping presents that are an awkward shape. So last year I bought my son a coat. It would have taken loads and loads of paper to wrap it, and I just shoved it in one of these, put a big red ribbon around it, did it in like a check fabric so he could use it after Christmas as well. Perfect for a Christmas gift, and you know it's got the dual purpose of a wrapping and a Christmas gift as well. Another thing that you could use your Mars bag for is, I was flicking through the Lakeland Christmas catalogue the other day and noticed that they had like a hamper made, stuffed like a bag stuffed full of goodies, and it's got little dogs on the front. and they were charging £25 for that, or £30 for it, gift wrapping. And in it you've got caramel sauce, fudge biscuits, fudge lemon sherbets, boiled sweets, caramelised almonds and Devon toffee. So without actually adding it up properly, you've probably got, I don't know, £10 or £15 worth of sweet stuff in there, and they're charging you probably round about £10 for the bag. And not everybody likes all those things, do they? I mean, they're nice ideas, but you know, they're probably not going to like all those. So how about making a Mars bag out of something a little bit stiffer, like a furnishing fabric? I've got some. These have got dogs on them. These are like a curtain fabric, and these were £8.99 a metre. We've got the dachshunds there. And out of a metre's fabric, you can usually, if it's 150 wide, you can usually get 3 bags out of those. £3 a bag, and then you can stuff it full of things that the recipient actually likes, and a bit more personalised as well. So you know, those are generic dogs. I love all dogs, but with a Springer Spaniel, you know, if your friend likes the dachshunds or the labs or the dachshunds, it's a bit more personalised. You could even go even further and put the dog's name on, or fill it with dog treats, something like that. So I thought that would be a nice idea. And £5 for wrapping as well. Just how much? That's a Yorkshire cry, by the way. Another bonus one is if you go to Andrea at Sew Spire, I think it was 12 free patterns that she did, all little sew-alongs, and I'll insert a picture now of a little gift box that she did that I made for my friend, and it's great for little small gifts. My friend's birthday is on Boxing Day. I didn't do it in Christmas themed fabric, but the size of it is ideal for jewellery, and it's a nice little way of personalising a gift that you've bought, and just wrapping it in that, and again it comes together really quickly. So I will leave a link to that playlist below. So leave me a comment below of the things that you've made for Christmas gifts, and let's I maybe put something together, another one together for children or something like that. I've tried to keep these gifts as unisex. Some of them are available for children's sizes as well. So the aprons and the pyjamas and the scarves, they're all, you know, they're all suitable for children as well in the gift wrapping. And I'll come back and compile another list of all your suggestions. But these are all things that I've made or I'm thinking of making, and all free patterns. So that's it from me today. Thank you for watching. I will be back later with another video. Don't forget to either leave me a comment or like and subscribe if you like this sort of content, and click the notification bell for more videos like this. I will speak to you later. Bye.